Um, Today's been a full day, but slow. You know what I mean? I preached tomorrow morning in Hanford, and just been, tightening up everything, making sure I'm ready to go. And you always feel like there's something missing, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Um, but I know I've put in the work to be prepared for this, and so part of it is just trusting the process, right? Trusting that God will give me the words to say that He wants me to say, and that everything that I've written so far or thus far is what He wants me to say to His people tomorrow. So, it's always interesting just the way the process goes. Hold on 1 second. Hey everyone, me again. My wife just called me real quick to tell me good night. Because I'm at the hotel for the Hanford's like 2.5 to 3 hours away from home, so I'm in a hotel staying the night so I can get up in the morning and do what I gotta do. But yeah, so like I was saying, just trusting the process, right? Trusting the process that the preparation is sufficient, that God will use me to say the things He wants to say to His people, or He's gonna shut me up and I'm gonna flop, and it is what it is, right? So but God's will be done no matter what, whether it's I say what He wants me to say or I don't say anything, which, it's not the first time that's happened, so especially here in Hanford, so it's good. I'm not stressed out. So to continue to talk on habits, right? I wanted to talk about like nutrition or like eating. And one of the things that I don't know if a lot of us understand is you can't outwork a bad diet. You can't work out hard enough to take away eating garbage, right? You have to eat good, healthy foods, no sugars, and I don't think people realize just how bad sugar is for us, but it's the worst thing you could possibly eat, and the crazy part is it's in everything. Like, there's just about sugar in everything, and there's things that we eat that our body turn into sugars, which is still not good for you, right? And so but in the habit thing, like getting up on time every day no matter what, like eating good is important, and eating enough food, right? I think a lot of times people will think they'll lose weight by eating less food, and the truth is no, they need to eat enough food. Your body needs a certain amount of protein to build muscle. You need a certain amount of salt. Now, this is one thing most people don't know, but you need a certain amount of salt in your body to lose weight, right? We've always been told salt causes you to retain fluids and stuff, and that's not necessarily true. It has a little bit of truth to it, but your body needs salt. A lot of times when people are cramping and they're like, oh, I need more water. No, what you need are electrolytes. And so electrolytes just simply consist of like Himalayan pink salt and potassium. With that, you can be fine, right? You can function. I fasted 40 days drinking Himalayan pink salt and potassium chloride, and that was it. But people will think, oh, they need Gatorade. You don't really need all that other stuff, but you need to eat good, right? Right. Like I've been telling you guys lately, my diet's just consisted of white rice and meat. Knowing how many calories I need to intake on a daily basis, and sticking to my calorie count, right? Sticking to my macros, hitting the fats, the proteins, and the carbohydrates. And so I still need to work on getting more protein in my body, right? It's crazy, I know when you do like keto and carnivore, you can find yourself not very hungry because protein is very satiating, especially like when you're eating like steaks and burger, like hamburger, ground beef, and like heavy proteins. Chicken doesn't tend to seem to be such a heavy one. Fish really isn't either. But like when you're eating like red meat, your body seems to be satiated longer because it takes it longer to break it down. And so like you'll find yourself not being very hungry, which makes it harder to build muscle on those type of diets. And I've been finding myself kind of in that same space as I'm, eating just basically 8 ounces of ground beef or 8 ounces of turkey and white rice. And like, I have to fight to get my 4 to 5 meals in a day because I don't really want to eat. I'm good. Like, and that was part of the process, right? When I was of retraining my brain, is not eating when I'm not hungry, because I'm one of those, I get out of control, right? I'll eat and eat and eat, and I'll eat because I'm bored. I'll eat because there's food in there that I want to put in my mouth, or like all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, it was always interesting. Like when I would be fasting, why am I walking to the fridge? I already know I'm not eating anything, so why am I going to the fridge to open it to see what's in there? And not only once, but I'm going in there multiple times a day, as if like things change in there. And I don't know if it's like my mind is telling me, oh, if the right thing is in there, you just might eat it. Because I always think the right thing is in the fridge, but the reality is, like, there's a certain amount of training that my body has naturally just gone through, because I go to the fridge so many times a day to look in it. Because I am at those moments in regular life when I'm not fasting or even really taking care of myself, every time I open the fridge, I want to eat something. And that's why I do it. And so part of it is, how do I train my body, right, in habits to A, eat when it's hungry, B, eat enough food that is, right, and learning how to eat properly. And what I mean by that is, what in some of the research that I've done and been studying about, the body can only handle 40 grams of protein at a time. Any protein that we eat over that is wasted, right? And so like sometimes I'll sit there and I'll eat like a full pound of ground beef, right? Well, this is prior to doing this Wes Watson fitness thing. But I would eat like a whole pound of ground beef thinking, man, I just smashed, 80 to 100 grams of protein. My body only utilized 40 of it, right? It didn't have anywhere to put the rest of it. And so knowing that my body will only use so much, that tells me why I need to eat as often as I do, right? So you need to space out about 2 hours in between meals, no longer than 4. And then, but only 40 grams of protein at a time. And so that means if I'm going to eat 250 grams of protein, I need to be getting in like five to 6 meals. And right now I get 3 for sure, maybe a 4th, pushing on a 4th, right? Having to be like, oh, man, it's bedtime and I need to eat again. But that's because my morning get going and I just delay eating the first meal in the day. But part of it is, how do I train myself to realize that I have a goal in mind, and the habit is a necessary component for the goal. If I was to just trying to lose weight, I probably wouldn't eat as often. It would be way easier to do it. But I want to put some more muscle on my body while I'm trying to cut this weight too. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, kind of caught in the middle. I don't like eating when I'm not hungry, because I know what I'm susceptible to doing. I'll just eat all the time. And that's kind of why I am grateful for the macro counting and for the accountability with my Fitness Pal, because it keeps me informed on like how much food I'm putting in my body. Because I'll sit down with a big old bag of strawberries or blackberries or blueberries and just pound them, and they're low calorie fruits, but I don't need to be eating that much stuff all the time. So one of the habits that has to be honed in on is diet, right? How much food do you need to be eating to attain the goal that you're trying to hit? Are you trying to cut weight? Are you trying to put on muscle, right? Like, your food, your habit is determined by the goal that you're trying to do, and then executing it to a T. Because you're not going to outwork all the pizzas and all the fried foods and all the sugars and all the cupcakes and garbage that you want to put in your mouth. You're not going to outwork them. You're just going to be on a dirty bulk, and that just means you're getting fatter. But if you're working out hard enough, you'll get stronger too, because you got all those extra calories in your body, but you're putting on extra fat that you don't necessarily need to be putting on. So what is your goal? Don't be trying to build muscle when you're not putting enough calories in your body either. If you're intaking 500, 1,000, even 1,500 calories as a man, or 500 to maybe 1,000 as a woman, it's not enough calories to be trying to put on muscle. So you're going to be in a cut process there, right? And so, but what kind of calories are you putting in your body? Because not all calories are the same either, right? Cakes don't count the same as vegetables, and sugars and desserts don't count the same as like meats and proteins. They're just not the same. That's kind of like where the theory of like the Chinese food, right? Like it just burns up in your body. It's gone within an hour. You're hungry again. It's light noodles and like light foods, right? None of it's ever really heavy. And so how do you put more satiating food in your body that will hold you longer? If you're in a cut, right, hold you longer. And if you're in a bulk or trying to put muscle on, you put those heavier foods in your body takes longer to break them down, but there's more nutrient density in those kinds of meats, right? In the red meats. I'm a big proponent of eating red meat. I'm not one who will ever tell you that red meat is bad for you, and there's a lot of people who are spreading misinformation that too much red meat is bad. There's a lot of good nutrients in red meat that you can't get from vitamins or chicken and like you just can't get it. Not if you're having to be mindful of calorie intake as well. So eat more red meat, right? Pea protein isn't the same as animal protein. Doctors will tell you that, right? Like you need to be intaking animal protein into your body. Pea protein is not the same. It doesn't work the same. It's different. But I'm going on record saying that. I'm telling you right now. But I just want everyone to realize, right? So like the first thing we talked about is getting up on time, right? Your habits matter. Accountability to them too, right? And now we have to eat right. We have to eat clean. We have to eat good. And we have to eat the foods that are going to get our bodies where they have to be. Tomorrow we'll talk about exercising, right? And so I just want everybody to know that you guys are loved, that you're highly appreciated, and that's why I do this, because not only am I talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself, and I want everyone to level up. I want everybody to get to the next level with their lives and not stay stuck where they are as if like where they are is good enough, because it's not. We need to keep pushing forward to get high, to be elevated to the places God wants to take us. So just know that God loves you, and so do I. I hope you have a great day, and God bless you.